Hello, beautiful people. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year and welcome to another episode of Chasing the Bag with Bade and Biyi.
Yes. I think we wanted to do, or I suggested that we do an end of the year episode just to kind of recap, but we didn't get to do it. But this one will be maybe recap and also New Year projections and resolutions or whatever we say we'll do. I remember we started last year saying we'll give you guys 2 episodes every month. Is that what we said?
This year will be better. This year
This
will be
year
better
has to
than,
be better.
than
Like
last year.
this year is different. It's a different ball game.
Yeah, Happy New Year. And I think one way to start the podcast is to say congratulations to Bade as well.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm off the market.
Bade is officially, officially.
I'm officially off the market. Yeah, so it's a new experience. It gives you fire that you don't know you had. That's why I say this year. This year we're grabbing it.
The focus is different this year. The energy is different. You are going for it, or we are all going for it this year.
Yes, so it's a different thing. When you have like it helps you properly focus. So you know that you have that on lockdown, and you can then plan in your life. You can then go all out and do what you need to do. Even though a lot of people have that, but I always had that before, but it's just a different
Kind of
experience.
drive.
Yeah,
Yeah, so congratulations to Bade and his partner.
yeah.
And for me, I'd like to start this episode by giving sort of an apology because the last episode that we did, right, I mentioned a few friends that I'd made since I moved here to Oxford, right? But I omitted the most important people to me.
I see.
So shout out to Khalifa, Abosede and Mayawa. They are the most important people to me here at Oxford.
I'm
And
sure
I
you.
omitted them. I
Uh-huh.
omitted them in the last episode. So please accept my apology.
I'm
They've
sure
not
they
let me rest,
support you.
especially Khalifa. But I hope that she listens to this and she forgives me finally.
Yeah, they came for you like you. No, we're your people and you did not call us. But yeah,
My number ones, my one and only is that. Now them did that.
yeah, that's good. That's good. So what's going on? The new year.
I mean, the agenda for the episode is, as I highlighted, we'll start kind of how we did 2 episodes ago with interesting finds. I have one. I don't know if Bade has one as well.
Yeah.
Then we'll go into New Year's resolutions if there are anything that we want to accomplish for ourselves that we'd like to share or for the podcast as well.
Mhm.
Then some predictions for the year. We are going to talk about AI like we've done in the past episodes. Talk
Yes.
about tech in general. We'll talk about stocks. We are chasing the bag after all.
Yep.
Then we'll speak a bit about Nigeria, what the market looks like and what we see in Nigeria, and some news. We are going to go into 3 of the 4 billionaires or 3 of the 5 billionaires that we have in Nigeria and what they've done
Making big moves.
over the past
Like couple of
3
weeks.
weeks, right?
Yeah.
So we're just going to touch on that a little bit.
Yeah.
So without further ado, Bade, interesting finds. You like to go first?
Yeah, I think one interesting find that I'm on social media, not quite a bit, but I'm there and I like TikTok, for instance, and I realized that I see these ads that come up and they are AI human avatars. And what essentially these brands do is they use human like people, so a human speaking, advertising the products, but it's all AI and you wouldn't know. And I was just like, this is crazy for marketing. You wouldn't even know that this person is not real. Like they will create the entire picture, a video, the background. You can even have a dog there walking around, and it's all AI. And it just like amazes me how advanced we've gone in AI. Yesterday, I saw one that's even crazier where the video was an AI saying that he's not an AI, critiquing other AI. Say, you see me, I'm real. So it was this like a treatment for hair loss. So the guy was like, see me, my hair, I'm a real person. These other guys, he showed a couple of them and they're from the same brand. Because I've seen a couple of them, like, why you guys, you wouldn't know that it's the same brand and that they're using avatars that look so real. And I did some research on a couple of these companies. Hey Jen, a couple of them have these features. And it's just helping me thinking about my startup, what we can do for marketing. Now you don't even need anyone to record a video to put out your content. Essentially, you can have these people, real people, and
Mm-hmm.
you have them. You can have any demographic. So, for example, let's say you are a founder in one demographic and you want to reach out to another demographic. You will just find somebody, an avatar that is in that demographic, and you kind of put the script in there, and they will do the video as if it's real. You just put what they have to say, what the background will look like to be real, and I was just mind blown. And there are a couple of companies that are doing stuff like that. So Hey Gen is one of them. I think we can put in our link. We are not sponsoring any of them, but yeah, that's just one find that blew my mind.
Interesting. It's crazy how far AI has come in the past 2, 3 years. And my
Yeah.
own interesting find is actually AI related as well, but it is Google. So if you aren't conversant with Google's AI drive over the past
Yeah.
couple of months, it has it has been crazy the amount of products that they've released through their AI lab experiments division.
Yeah.
So well, actually, when we talk about stocks, I'm still going to go into Google again. But yeah, so Google has this labs dot experiments website or Google dot labs or something like that, and they have a ton of products that they've put out
Oh, wow.
for marketing. They have Pomeli that they put out about 2 weeks ago, supposed to help you generate content for your
Yeah.
marketing,
I see.
graphics, videos. They have, I believe it is Flow for video generation, and it is
Yeah. So,
cinematic one. They
mhm.
have just a bunch of that, and I feel like everyone should just go through it and see which one speaks to you, as a business owner or as a student or as just, someone that is interested in tech in
In
general.
tech, yeah, the possibilities are now endless with AI. It's so crazy.
Absolutely. So one use case that I've seen now being a student again is Notebook LM, for example,
Yeah, I
and
know.
how Notebook LM is like every student's first companion. And it breaks down complex topics into digestible concepts. You
Mhm.
have the audio overview, the video overview, the flashcards. It is just incredible what you can do with these tools that Google, in fact, have put out. I think Google is going for the neck of every AI based company out there
Okay, right
and
now.
just trying to
Yeah.
see what sticks. I
Mhm.
think Notebook LM is a win for them because
Yes.
I see the use case firsthand and I see how many people use it on a daily basis as students.
Yeah.
And I think they are going to have, if you go on the labs.experiment or google.experiment websites, you're going to see about a dozen tools that they've put out
Those
there.
tools,
Yeah, and I think about, I mean, if they have 3 wins out of that dozen that they've put out,
it will be
you know,
amazing.
they are going to drive growth with tens of millions of users again, and it's just another win for Google.
Yeah. They have Google has is in such an amazing position right now. They have distribution set. They have an existing set of products that they can connect into whatever product they are bringing out, and it just makes it very difficult for new players who are just one product or a couple of products business. So it's a monolith. It's gonna be.
I mean, Google is in the news. We're recording this episode on the 9th of January. Google is in the news today because they just surpassed Apple as the second most valuable company in the world.
Yes.
So they are only right now behind Nvidia as the
Yeah.
most valuable company in the world, going towards 4 trillion valuation, which
Dollar.
is crazy. I still think, I mean, Nvidia is driving everything right now, but I think, Google should be the most valuable company in the world,
Yeah.
given, the amount of offerings that they have. And like you said, the most that they've built over the last few years. So that is my own interesting find for the year.
Yeah, yeah. So going like just to segue from that into our New Year resolution, I remember one thing that you said was like our users should just try a number of these products and see which one will help them, whatever use case they have. For me, my one resolution for the new year that like is important is now to try AI tools and just to get conversant with them. Like just yesterday, or 2 days, yesterday and the day before, I've been playing with Claude Code, and I've been trying to vibe code. I'm telling you, like,
Interesting.
I've never tried. And yesterday I built some apps. I'm just like trying to see what sticks.
Oh, cool.
And I've just been inspired by, so I'm on Twitter sometimes. I saw the Coinbase CEO, Brian Armstrong, say, right now you can build anything. You just have to try. I saw the Serena's husband, what's his name again? Alex Oanis is the Reddit guy, say,
Mm-hmm.
now is the time where one founder or one person can build a product that will be used by millions of people. So
Absolutely.
that barrier that existed before is no longer there in terms of, oh, if you're a non-technical founder or you're a non-technical and try to, you just have to prompt. It's now prompting, and I have been playing with it, and I've been building stuff. Like, I will share this with you like afterward, but I've been building, and it's been mind-blowing. And that's what I'm really indexing on right now. Because for me, I remember like some years back, I always wanted to learn how to code. Like, I wanted to be a software engineer. But then I thought about it and said, I have my existing skill set. How how long would I have to be in it? Because I took the 1,000 hour rule. How long will I have to
Mm-hmm.
spend on it to be in the 1% of this category? And I've spent like quite a bit in the skill set that I have, closer to 1,000 hours and
10,000 hours.
10,000 hours, I mean, and gotten expertise in it. So I just say, you know what, I wouldn't learn anymore. But now I don't even need to know those languages. With all these tools that are available now, you just need to, if you have clarity in the sense of what you want and you can describe it, you can even get the LLMs to even help you with description if you're confused. So that's one thing I am really, really going to continue doing. And because you get better at it, and there will be people who will be creating products that necessarily don't have technical talent. I'm not saying technical talents will not be useful, definitely, but for your building like an MVP or a proof of concept that
Right.
brings life even for you and for your potential users or customers, it's very, very helpful.
Yeah, that's great. Please do share what you built. I just remembered that a use case, because I remember 2 episodes ago, or the last episode, I said that I wanted to start thinking AI first. Our last episode was in November. And I can remember during the exams, there was a particular exam, I think it was marketing, and we had this multiple choice past questions
Yeah,
from the past 2 years. And we had the answer keys too in PDF. So they are PDF. So typically, what you would do is you will go through the question, write A, B,
yeah.
D, if that's the answer, right?
Then you
So
go.
what I did is that I wrote a prompt. I put the questions, right? So about 48 questions.
Mhm.
I put it into Gemini, then I put the answer keys into Gemini, and I wrote a prompt and told it to create an interactive, just like an interactive website for me.
Yeah.
And so it wrote HTML code. I
Mhm.
opened it, and
You
there it
walk.
was. It had the questions
Yep.
A, B, C, D. So I would click, okay, rather than writing,
Yeah.
on a sheet of paper and going back to mark it myself. So I would click A and I'll go on to the next question. Click B, that's that. At the end, so part of my prompt was for it to generate a report at the end. And at the
Yeah.
end, it generated a report with the right answers and gave me a score as well. So I got maybe 72%.
Yeah.
And it highlighted the ones that I missed and gave me the right answers as well. So that
Yeah.
was an interesting use case. I shared it with one of my friends and she also used it and she liked it.
Yeah.
So
That's
that
what
is
we
what
need
the world
now.
has come to now.
So when you have a problem, the first thing that you should think is, can AI solve this? How can I use AI to solve it before you even start going through the manual process? Like, I was seeing a lot of software engineers were like, the way they write code has even changed. Like, a lot of them you're trying to show that you're a boss. You want to do the manual way. You will be left behind. And the young people who are learning with AI and working with AI will work faster than you and be
Yeah,
more efficient.
it's incredible. My own US resolution is to one, I have a US resolution for this podcast.
Okay.
So recently I've been thinking about the motivation behind a lot of the things that I want, like really like deep in it, thinking deep down about like what's really the motivation for wanting these things, like what's the
Yeah.
motivation behind the podcast, and going back to the reason why we started doing the podcast in
Yes.
the first place. So, I mean, it is easy to get lost in the potential for revenue and the trappings of ABCD, but it is at its core, I think, just us friends having a conversation about what we are seeing in the
Yeah.
world, tech,
Mm-hmm.
investing,
Mm-hmm.
and what I want to do, which is similar to our resolution last year, is to do more of it.
Yeah.
So now one of the things that I'm doing, or I've started doing since we crossed over into the new year, is to use my calendar more and to
Yeah.
find bits and pieces of time where I can, for example, schedule this podcast,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
find, a little bit of time too on Saturdays. I have that time allotted already on my
Yeah.
calendar. So I have this 3 hour slots where I intend to use to edit, for example, right?
Yeah.
Then just to do that and use my calendar more to manage more time. So the resolution is to one,
So
do more of this, the podcast. Then I think so I've been involved with a few businesses, a lot of ideas, but I've never really started something on my own. Right.
yes.
So I think this is the year to maybe, or yeah, this is the year to
You say
actually,
maybe. It's a
no, not
resolution.
me.
There are no maybes.
So this is yet to actually hone in and put action. Somebody last year told me that I am all talk and no action. So I'm taking that.
Wow.
The context was the context was different. But yeah,
Different. Ouch.
maybe it got to me a little bit. So maybe a lot of talk and no action. So
So now it's time
yeah,
to act.
yeah. So now it's time to act on a lot of things.
I didn't
Um
think it as my resolution. Just yeah, I know you have others. Okay, you can go. Me, I've just started one.
Yeah, so what other resolution? I need the other resolutions are, I want to be more mindful of the way I eat. So that
Mm,
is one. I've been working out. So that as an effort in the gym has never been a problem for me. But like
yeah.
being more mindful of how I eat. And yeah, I just want to also get out there more. I did
Mm,
a mentorship volunteer thing over the
mm.
holiday, just a session with a venture firm, and I really enjoyed it. So
Nice.
I spoke with a founder that is in the build stage of his
Startup.
business, and I could really, add some value. I could see with his response to, um, how I was thinking. You
Yeah.
could pick up a lot of things that I was saying
Mm-hmm.
from the kind of content that I consume and how I was able to ask certain questions about how he was building his business, and also
Yeah.
being using my knowledge from the MBA as well, or things that we
Mm-hmm.
talk about, or things that I see on content that I read or things that I see on social media, and I have synthesized in my head. So
Yeah.
I was able to do that, and I think I want to do more of that as well. If the opportunity presents itself, work with startups
Yeah.
and small ventures as well.
I always wanted to do that. So okay, let me just go back to my resolution. So one very important one is to take my spiritual life more seriously. So like my relationship with God, I want to be more intentional about that, more intentional about time for prayer, time for reading the Bible, time for spending time, and even volunteering. Because
Hmm.
last year, like the NBA years and the years after, it was as if the water was poured on that part of my life. Even though, of course, I still maintained, but
Mm-hmm.
it was not as vibrant as I used to. So that is very intentional. And that part is I want to take more action, like you said. And I have started doing that. Like in the space of the last 2 weeks, I've started two new
Ventures.
ventures.
I love it.
Like I take action once I see something. Before I would like the idea, I'll think about it, do some research, and that's where it stops. But now I'm taking action. I did, and once you, it's like what Brian Armstrong said. He said, "Action produces information." So, and that's what I've
Brilliant.
seen. You talk to people, you reach out, you build something, you do more research on it, you build a website, you put forward a deck, you produce this information, you apply to something, they give you feedback. Like all those things really help. So that one is very important. And also my fitness. So last year I did like 3 months or 3 months. Me and my girlfriend then, she was my girlfriend then, and we saw like results. So we
Yeah.
had a fitness instructor, and he worked with us, and we did like it was a lot of results. After that, we then went on a trip to Seoul in Korea, and I could,
Oof.
and in Seoul, like you have to do a lot of walking,
Right?
but we did not feel it. Like unlike the other, so we traveled with a couple of people. Every other person was always complaining, but it was good. That showed like the result of all the work that I put in. But then I stopped. So now I'm taking more seriously, having like it's my pastor will say it's structure over discipline. So having like a structured time for everything and having that slot, like you said, so that you then
Mm-hmm.
you show up and you do it. You don't leave it to when you feel like you your motivation, because motivation will not always be there. So I
Yeah.
think that those are the take more action with everything I see, because I have a lot of ideas. That's something about me. I have a lot of ideas. I have a lot of energy. I just need to act on it, and I will see
Executed.
what. Yeah, and also open up my network. So last year, towards the end of last year, I did that quite a bit. So I was going to more networking. I reached out to people and even opened my network in where I am right now. I met with one of the richest men in this place, richest black men, and like it was. And I'm trying to keep up that relationship. Do you get? So I've been doing that just to hang out with people, meet up. They are intelligent people. I can also speak, and I don't have a problem with that. So that networking bit is also very important. I think those are my resolutions.
Awesome. So on to the next, which is the predictions for the year.
Yeah.
And the first category that we're going to do is, should we do AI first or just tech in general? Which one do you
We
want to
can
go
start
for?
with we can start with AI, because AI is
AI is the hot thing. So what's your prediction for the year? What do you see? What's your outlook?
so I think this is the year where there will be a lot of correction and there will be consolidation. So last year there was a lot of hype and there was a lot of excitement, and also aside from the excitement there was also fear from people who are not excited. So a lot of people, especially the AI companies, they haven't done a great job of communicating the value that AI will bring. The only big thing that we hear is job loss, change in how work is done. So a lot of people are afraid, and that's regular people are afraid, but investors and people in the tech bubble ecosystem are excited, but that excitement has not translated into actual value in terms of maybe revenue dollars, aside from just increasing the share price of companies that are in this area, or the investment dollars in venture capital is going to these companies. We've not seen actual transformation yet. So this is a year where a lot of the companies that rode through the hype, rode on the hype, will
Mm-hmm.
be corrected, and only the true companies that will add value will have like a very good position. Also, it's going to be the year where AI will have more practical use case.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's not going to just be a phantom idea of all the efficiency it will generate. People will actually start using it. And because it is the only technology where it got direct access to the everyday consumer immediately. Unlike, so when
Yes.
the internet came, it was governments and then corporations that benefited from it. So they were able to work with it, they were able to corral it, and they were able to then dispense it to the general populace. But it's the other way around for AI, in the sense that it got to the hands of regular people first,
All at once.
and ChatGPT was just the crazy, like was crazy. And even governments and corporations are now grappling to know how to use it. So that is like it was a flip with
Yeah.
respect to like the typical way the technology innovations in the past have come in mainstream. So we will see a lot more mainstream adoption. And the problem is this: because the corporations and the governments have not adopted it, we've not seen the effect on everyday life, because every person that uses ChatGPT uses it for themselves, like,
Mm-hmm.
and their own context. So it's different than if a government or a company, rolls out an AI product and it, gets to a large swath of people, and it has like different use cases, and it's more because it's the production, the products are making will be more streamlined. So you have like more effect. So I think that's what's going to be happening. A lot of small businesses will also be adopting it in their operations. And that's what this year will be for AI. What do you think, Billy?
So to go off what you said about more practical use cases, one that I've seen and I think is quite brilliant is the way Zara has implemented AI try-ons into their app. So I
Yeah.
saw a video earlier today, and where you take a selfie and you take like a full body photo,
Mm-hmm.
and the try-ons, the result of it is crazy. Actually, Google has Doppler also on the labs.experiment, which
Mm-hmm.
does that as well. So it's one of those use cases where you see and you are like, the AI is not all in your face, but it
Yes.
is just intelligence the way that it has been implemented. And I think you're going to see a lot of
Mm.
shopping brands try that. The way try-ons had been in the past, they were mostly or entirely through augmented reality or
Yeah.
virtual reality. Or I think that was augmented reality where you look through you and you use
True.
your camera to place an item in your living room or something.
Mm-hmm.
But this use case is just incredible.
Crazy.
Google also has one for real-time translation of languages, different languages, like,
Yeah.
and it works so seamlessly from, I mean, it will work seamlessly from whatever promotional materials that they put out. However, I'm thinking what is going to be in, like, let's say 100 years, where people are going to be almost incredulous, like, oh, people were actually learning languages.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like, it would sound ridiculous that people were
Learning different language.
learning languages, or that's how I think, because that barrier is just has disappeared almost. For
Yeah.
example, you mentioned that you went to Seoul. Now imagine going to Seoul and just having, one ear of your earbuds in or something,
Yeah.
and it is instantly translated into English language
English.
or whatever language that you want, right?
Absolutely.
So that is an incredible use case that I see. That practicality, I think a lot of companies and firms are going to find interesting use cases for AI. Another one is OpenAI as a company. I think there's a lot of lying and dabaru and whatnot. Not lying. It is financial engineering or whatever you want to call it,
Exactly.
right? It is just, and like I mentioned earlier, Google is number 2 in the world now, and one of the drivers of that is the way that they've implemented Gemini into a lot of their products, or how
Yeah.
they've implemented Gemini into Google search, for example, and you have the AI overview. And interestingly, on CNBC, I was watching earlier today, OpenAI is losing, they are losing users, right? And Gemini or Google, they are gaining
I
users.
left OpenAI. One thing I do is I don't stay with any of them. So over time, I have accounts with all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And based on how the models or their models are performing, I switch. I was OpenAI for like the last 3 months of last year,
Yeah.
or like 6 months last year. Before that, I was with Claude in the middle of the year because Claude was good. But OpenAI then became better. Now I'm back to Claude and I've switched off my OpenAI subscription. I'm now using only Gemini and Claude now. OpenAI is just there's a free tier. I don't really care.
Yeah.
So
I think, I mean, for me, I've never been the OpenAI ChatGPT guy, because I was speaking to a friend sometime this week, and even I could not believe that I only had one ChatGPT prompt last year. So there was the year in review thing, and I had just one, which I thought
wow,
was crazy. But I use Gemini and I use Claude as well.
yeah,
So I think it balances out. But I've never really been the biggest fan of the OpenAI whatever.
yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, they have a lot of numbers that are throwing around, investments from Nvidia into OpenAI for so
It's,
so so
it's
amounts,
circular.
and that money has been committed by OpenAI to buy Nvidia chips, and you have investment from Oracle, and everything is moving around. If they don't, I don't know what their hardware product is going to be. The one with Johnny Hives, I don't know
Oh
what it's going to
yeah,
be like. But I feel like if they don't have another clear hit on their hands pretty soon, I feel like
it's gonna be
they're
a
going to experience
problem.
a lot of churn, and Google is going to drink their milkshake.
Yeah, I think what they are indexing for OpenAI, because what happened all throughout last year, OpenAI was indexing for the regular consumer. So getting them to, they want the usage to be even as frequent as what Facebook had like in the early days, where you are on the platform and they made the models keep you in the loop. So you'll be asking, what else do you need? Should I also do this for you so that you keep being there? While Claude decided to master, or Anthropic decided to master developers. So they work with enterprises and they've mastered that. Now, Anthropic has decided to then, shift gears and shift focus to the everyday consumer. And you
Mm-hmm.
see those gains in what their models have been churning out in the last couple of weeks. And it's
Outputting.
like, it's crazy. You can use it for basically anything. I was so astonished by the results I got from Claude. So there's something I do. I use the deep research of all of the
Gemini.
yeah.
Mm.
So I use deep research of all of the models to know which is best. So I would have, there's a company I'm trying to, look, give me an analysis of this company, research the entire company, give me what their performance has been, then give me your take on it. And that's my own yardstick for knowing which is better. I
Okay.
did that for Gemini, Claude, and OpenAI very recently, and Claude just blew it out of the park. And that's what just decided for me that right now I'm switching back to Claude. Very detailed. The analysis was great. It would really synthesize all the data, even then give you documents to draft out, they bring out the Excel, Word, whatever PowerPoint, it does it all for you as if
Great.
it's like a consultant. You go to McKinsey and say, do an analysis for me on this company, and they will do all of that for you. That's what Claude did for me that really wowed me. So it's going to be an interesting world. Another one that I know, Perplexity, they're having, is that they're having a tough time or they will have a tough time, is
I've never
because
used it. They're the AI search thing. Yeah, I've
exactly.
never used their products.
And now Google has come for their launch. Amazon is, threatening them as well because Amazon doesn't want them to show results from Amazon wants you to go on Amazon's website to get
Right.
details what Amazon is putting up. They don't want you to get it through Perplexity. So they are going to have a challenge because they kind of tackled the wrong problem. They are great guys, but they tackled the problem that is integral to what consumer experience will be, which is search, and it's going to be really tough for them to win in that space, especially with the incumbent. So I would like to see. I am rooting for the guys. I like the founder. Was an international student, came to the US. I like his story. And he's very affable. So, and I want to see them succeed. So I'm waiting to see how they will turn this around and make good of it.
So that's our prediction or our outlook on AI.
Yeah,
Next is tech in general.
yeah,
So okay, let me go first. The Consumer Electronics Show,
mm,
CES. So I think it just wrapped up today. And so I've always been skeptical, but even more so skeptical about humanoid robots,
yes,
right? Even I got more skeptical last year when they debuted the Neo robot and it was being controlled by someone somewhere,
yeah,
similar thing with the Tesla robots. But
yeah,
the thing is there is a particular company that has been doing it for years and years and years. That is Boston Dynamics, right?
yeah.
And their exhibition at CES was remarkable.
Amazing. Wow.
So, so I've become less of a skeptic and, maybe more optimistic about humanoid robots. Seeing the way the Boston Dynamic humanoid robot was moving around on stage, although parts of it were still being controlled by someone somewhere, but it was far far ahead of what we had from. I think it was far ahead from what we had from Tesla and what we had from the Neo robots last year.
Yeah.
And compared to even what some other people exhibited at CES, those ones look like what Boston Dynamics had half a decade ago, or
Years
even a decade
ago.
ago. So it is quite impressive what they've done. And even the way they are going about it, their adoption, right, is that they've signed a deal at a factory with Hyundai in America. And they are going to staff that factory with the humanoid robots. And that is an interesting
But yeah.
that's an interesting, I would say, strategy from them. And I can see how a lot of companies, as it happens, will be watching that space. And I know that Amazon is going to be looking at it keenly because they have a lot of robots in their operations,
Warehouse.
right?
Yeah.
There are a lot of Chinese companies that are also doing incredible things. I saw a couple last year as well. And I can see in the next 5 years, a lot of companies is going to be first. I don't think it's going to be homes first, right? Probably going to be factories first,
Yeah.
right? Before it starts to diffuse into other spaces. So before you start to see them in the homes. So I think this is I know that they are not a publicly listed company, although we're not talking about stocks yet, but that's just an interesting one that I see
No.
shooting off this year. I can see that being the buzz for the year.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Remember last year, I think it was our last episode, the episode before that, we were talking about some humanoid that came on stream, 20K, and you were like, oh, you
Yeah,
want,
yeah, yeah. I think that's the Neo robots, the one that MKBHD did a review of, and yeah, was it the greatest?
yeah, yeah, yeah. But it was like it will still it will keep getting better. That's how these technologies will go. And before you know it, you'll be in our homes. For me, for this year in tech generally, aside from AI, I believe this year will be the year of quantum.
Okay,
And
interesting.
a lot of people are skeptical about quantum. I've seen arguments from both sides that it's a grift, there's nothing real there, and all of that. But I always try to listen to both sides and come up with my own analysis. I think there will be some breakthrough that would be really transformational. So it's just like when the transformers were invented that led to ChatGPT later on and all the different ones. This year there's going to be that in quantum, and the results might not show this year or even next year or the year after, but it's going to be a year where people will look back. And I saw an article from IBM and they were like, oh, this year will be the first year where a quantum computer will outperform a classical one. And because of that, there might be potential breakthroughs in different parts of science, development of drugs, and there might be a lot more commercial application. So it's something to keep an eye on, even though right now the quantum stocks seem to be overvalued right now because a lot of people thought last year was going to be the year and
Yeah.
they bought aggressively as well. So there might be a correction this year. But in terms of, what's happening in the tech is typically supposed to mirror what's happening in finance, but that's not what happens because the finance people can't really explain, what the advancements in tech will translate to. So there's always that mismatch. So that's my tech outlook for 2026.
So on to, the general market stock.
The
So
stock
the first
market,
episode that we did last year, right? You remember I had an argument for Google.
yes.
That's what I said I was going to refer to. I had an argument for Google and Google has returned, I think, more than 60% since then. So I can
That
pat
was a
myself
good
on the
prediction.
back. I can pat myself on the back, which is, I feel, I mean, I think whoever is listening, you can go back to and listen to that episode. I think I made a very good argument for them and the space that they are with the AI. AI, they are beginning to have a stronger foothold with their Pixel devices and
Mm.
yeah, just technology in general. I feel like they are or they should be the leader.
Number one.
Barring this AI wave and the moat that Nvidia has built. Yeah, I think they should be number one. If I could speak on another one is Amazon as well. I think
Okay.
Amazon is in a space where Amazon has become such a sort of like essential services. Essential
Mhm.
services, like you want to get something and something in 2 days, or a day,
Yeah.
it's there, right? And
Mhm.
they are investing. I didn't know this until I was recruiting for them last year, seeing the amount of investment that they've done in AI. It's
Wow.
just, and they have like chips and data centers and everything everywhere. So they are also, they are not sleeping on that on
Of
that.
course not.
They are improving they are improving their offerings at Amazon.com, and also they also still have the Prime Video. It's just a lot of offerings that the company has. And I
Mhm.
think, the value of the stock is still going to reflect that. If there is a correction in AI, well, in the markets, I don't think it is going to be
It will affect
a
Amazon. That's one thing I
yeah, yeah,
know.
yeah. That's what I'm gonna say. I was gonna say that it will not affect Amazon. Also, I don't think, just to speak on that correction, everybody has been talking about the bubble busting. I don't think it's going to bust. I think it's going to be a deflation, right? So the bubble is
Mm,
going to deflate a bit. Well, not like a bit, but it is not going to be a shocking
yeah,
pop.
yeah,
I think it's going to be like a deflation because there is real value in Nvidia. There's real value in this $1 trillion companies: Nvidia, TSMC, Google, Microsoft, Apple.
yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
might be overvalued, but so they are still the leader in
Our
whatever
value.
category that they are in. So I feel if there is going to be companies that are going to be most affected, it will be the private companies and whatever valuation that they have. So
Yeah,
OpenAI at their over 100 billion valuation, companies
I'm
like
talking.
Scaled AI, and just those companies that have
Yeah,
raised
a lot of
unbelievable
money.
amounts of money, and we're going to have these incumbents that are going to, eat their lunch and drink their milkshake. So that is where, yeah.
Yeah.
So stock in general,
So
um,
energy stocks. I know energy. So I'm for energy stocks this year. Oh, that's like everything is points to energy stocks doing well. So
yeah,
energy stocks and consumer stocks. So the Amazons of the world, the Walmarts, the those that are enduring.
hmm
They nothing changes about them. What even happens is they get more efficiency gains with better technology. And
yeah.
energy stocks, without saying too much, will benefit from the current geopolitical issue that we are seeing out of Venezuela. And even aside from that, they were still going to benefit from the AI wave because like we said in the last episode, the bottleneck in this AI revolution or AI transformation is energy. So data
hmm
centers are being built, energy needs to be, you know, put together to cater to the data centers. So this year they're just going to see a lot more gains again. So if you are a betting man, go buy some ExxonMobil. This is not financial.
Yeah, energy stocks in general. I think that was one of my picks from last year, and they didn't do incredibly well, but they are. I feel like, yeah, they are primed for
This
growth
year,
still. I just want to get your take on one thing while we are talking about stocks and the S&P 500 and whatever ETFs that are based off of it, right? So the S&P 500, or let's say VOO, for example, is not
mm,
equally weighted with the
S&P,
over 500
yeah,
stocks that are there. They are heavily weighted over 40% with the Nvidias, the Google,
yeah,
and the tech stocks, right? Those
yeah,
growth
yeah.
stocks. I I'm seeing a lot of arguments about. So if there is a correction, I think we're going to have like a deflation, right? How that will affect the entire market. I want to get your take on that. And one thing I've been thinking about recently is about diversification. If the S&P 500, which is where everyone,
Mhm.
thinks about diversifying. So the typical advice that you get is to just invest in the S&P 500, buy the entire market. If it
Yes.
is if it is so much heavily weighted towards the Magnificent Seven, right? Is
Mm-hmm.
that really diversification? I don't,
Hmm. The thing
right?
is,
So if you have 40%, let's say you are entirely invested, the bit of the bit of money that I have invested right now, before I spend it, it is entirely it is entirely in VOO, right?
yeah,
I'm looking at it, and 40% of that, like,
it's a lot.
is, although there's the arguments that it is those stocks that have driven the most
The
growth,
gains,
the most gains over the last couple of years. Um, Somebody on Yahoo Finance made an argument for value investing against, the S&P 500, and it was like everything is always all right until it isn't.
yes,
So maybe he has a point there, or maybe it is his ego speaking. But yeah, just touch
yeah.
briefly on that. Let me see what you think.
See, I understand like the concerns, but I've also seen a lot of the doom and gloom, you know, opinions from a lot of finance pundits and analysts all over social media on Twitter. And what I believe is one, of course, the SRP. currently or last year ended as its highest or second highest it has ever been in over 100 years, which is crazy. And that's
Mm-hmm.
because the world has been moving and the companies that have been in that basket have also been doing well. In terms of diversification, it's also very diversified. Of course, I agree that 40% are in the Mark 7 and all these tech stocks, but you also have companies that are out of different parts of the world, some European stocks, you have some energy stocks, and the benefit of that weighting is you get the gains of these great ones and can also, if there are losses, you can
Yep.
be cushioned by whatever other stocks are in that basket. And they always like they rebase the companies and the weightings of the companies in that basket. So if for a retail investor, so it depends on who you are speaking to. For a sophisticated investor, value investing is the go-to. That's Warren Buffett's mantra. So you find the stocks, but you need to do research. It's not just going to come to you. But for the retail investor, the best bet is just to stay with that's my advice to anyone who either doesn't have the time or doesn't understand how these things work and just wants to put money in the stock market. So I'm still of the opinion that if you are retail, you want to enjoy some of the upside, that's the best place to be. Because if it goes down, it's just like the logic behind it is if it goes down, the world is going down. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my opinion on it. To be honest, is that is as diversified as you can get. And if you want to pick stocks by yourself, hopefully you pick right and you have all the information. Of course, you can't have all the information. There's still information that will not be available to you. That's why we go for the safe option for retail.
Safe bets. All right. So we are 50 minutes into the episode now. It
Yes,
is crazy how much time has passed. So I think, can we make this like a 2 episode thing? So, okay.
yeah, we can.
So thanks for listening. We are going to put out another episode, which is going to be part 2. We're going to talk about mostly Nigeria. We're going to talk about investing in Nigeria. It's probably going to be a shorter episode than this 50-minute episode. So
Yes.
thanks for listening.
Thanks, guys. See you.